1990 Volkswagen Golf. This is the Mark II, 3-door version. It's a 1600, it's a driver. Don't let the grille fool you. It does have someone has put a GTI grille on it with a red stripe around the outside, which, I mean, I don't hate. Kind of suits the car, especially with the colour. And then obviously they put the Mark II shape P slots on there, which do look very good. And they're worth a fortune these days. They're going for crazy money on eBay. I'm sure I saw a set the other day for 1,200 quid. But they do suit a Mark II Golf. So no complaints there at all. Start by having a look at the bodywork. As you can see, it's sort of a mid-grey metallic. Nice thing is it's all one colour. You've not got a sort of colour disparity between the roof and the door, or when you go from that wing to the door there, or on the wing on the bootlet or anything like that, which is nice, especially on a car of this age. Normally they've been painted 14 different times and somebody normally messes it up, but no, all one colour. I would say we'll start with the bodywork. We'll start on this driver's side. Got a small bit of damage at the bottom lower half of the valance on the driver's side there, and there's a scuff on the plastic. It's been sort of scuffed against something, but actually you can fix these now with a heat gun, so that can make quite a big difference. And then you just seal it afterwards to make sure it doesn't dry out. The wing itself is all nice and clean. If you look down the side of the car, you'll see it's nice and straight. Inside the arches, obviously it's got the plastic trim on it, but inside the arches where the metalwork is all nice and clean. It's a nice original finish, silver with a black insert on the P-slot. It's got a good Falcon tyre on this one. We'll check the tyres out as we go around. It has had the smoke side indicators fitted. Pretty easy job if you want to fit them back. I did notice this one's ever so slightly loose. In fact, actually it's not, it's the passenger side, I'm lying to you. Driver's door, all nice and clean. The sill on the driver's side, nothing to complain about there, all nice and tidy. All chrome work on the handles and everything's good. Small mark on this sort of door bit of the pillar. It's got Team Heiko wind deflectors fitted as well, which is quite useful. It's nice just to cruise around with the windows down a little bit without getting your hair blown off, unless you've got none like me. This lower rear quarter, all nice and clean. This whole rear panel, no dents or anything, no sign of any issues. Again, another clean wheel with another Falcon tyre on it. Still got all VW stamped glass in it, which is always good to see. The roof is lovely and straight. It's a sunroof model, but there's no real corrosion around the sunroof or anything like that. It's quite a common area on these Mark IIs, but nothing at all to complain about there. Sunroof itself's nice and clean. It's not been scraped along the inside of the headline or anything. Got a tiny little mark on the paint there, but other than that, nothing to complain about. Around the windscreen, another sort of common problem area on Golfs, but nothing to whinge about there. We'll have a look at the other side as we go around. Onto the rear of the car. It's still got the correct Hella headlights, rear tail lights. No one's put the sort of blacked out ones or the smoke ones in, which are awful in my opinion. They're quite hard to find now, the correct Hella ones, especially with a good colour to them and not faded. Like I say, it is a driver, so you got a bit of extra spec on that, which we'll put in the description for anyone that doesn't know. These seams on both sides are nice and clean. Lower valance, little dent there, but other than that, all nice and tidy. You can see underneath the car a little bit, all nice and clean under there. The plastics on this are really good. They're not sort of warped or bent or bashed apart, nice and straight. Around the rear screen is all nice and clean all the way around. Nothing to complain about. Heated rear screen in this one. Onto the passenger side, and again we'll look down the side of the car. You can see nice and straight. Another piece slot with a Falcon tyre on it. Those Falcon tyres look to be relatively new as well, so someone's spent some money there. It's always a sign of some good ownership. Underneath and behind that bumper is all nice and clean, which is always a good point to check out on a Mark II. This plastic arch has had a scrape as well. It doesn't particularly detract from the car. You kind of got to get close to notice it, but it can be fixed. It does want fixed. Underneath these windows and everything, all nice and clean. This whole panel, nothing at all to complain about there. You see this side of the roof nice and straight as well. Around the sunroof on this side, nothing to complain about there. We have washed this car so we know the sunroof doesn't leak. The seats were nice and dry. They're like a light grey interior, so you'd notice straight away as well. Sill on the passenger side, nothing to complain about there. Same with the lower half of this panel and the door. Chrome work and everything on the handles on this side's all good. Really nice straight bodywork this. So this is the indicator I mentioned, it's just a little bit loose. Whether you want to replace it or get it put back on properly, it's up to you. And the final P-slot with a good Vulcan on, so 4 matching tyres, which is always nice to see. The lower half of the valance on this side is all nice and clean, all the way along. You've got a little bit of a stone chip that's sort of corroded there a little bit, and another one there. But again, that's quite common. It still has, which is amazing, the toe eye cover on it, which I don't think I've seen a Mark II in about 10 years with the toe eye cover still on it. That front end, yes, it's got a GTI grille on it, but it does look like it's a genuine one. I have had a proper look at it. It does look like it's a genuine one, which is nice to see. 4 headlamps, so no one's got rid of the inner ones, which was the fashion a few years ago, but it's 4 headlamps definitely looks better on a Mark II to me. Bonnet itself, lovely and straight. No signs of any sort of dent or anything on that, as you can see. A couple of little stone chips on the leading edge, but nothing to worry about at all. Like I said, the bottom of this windscreen, it's all lovely and clean. I mean, the car wants a proper detail and proper clean, but it's quite often around these windscreen wiper mounts can go. But as you can see, nothing to whinge about there at all. Same story on the top. Have a look at the interior. So it's the driver interior, so it's the grey with a check. Nice and clean, all the door card and everything. Door check itself is all good. Like I say, that seat's all nice and clean on that check, especially for the mileage. I mean, we're looking at 99,000 miles, and that seat's as good as it's going to get. No sign of any wear, no sign of any staining or anything like that. There does look like there's the odd mark on the camera, but that's more shadows than anything else. It's a really nice, clean seat. The back seats, again, very good. Nothing at all to complain about there. All the carpet set and everything's nice and clean. Top of the dash is good. There's no signs of any cracks or anything on there. It has got an aftermarket stereo fitted there as well. Automatic, but it does seem to go through the gears quite well. The 1600 driver automatics are actually quite good. Definitely not one to look at. Look down your nose on like you would do on some of the other cars, but of this era with an automatic box. But this one's all right. Steering wheel's all nice and clean. Have a look at the boot. So along with that head unit, there has been a set of aftermarket speakers put in the parcel shelf, but it is a 30-year-old Golf. It's kind of the rules. It's probably been someone's first or one of their first cars. At some point, you've got to fit some speakers, haven't you? Inner wings and everything are all nice and clean. No sign of any corrosion or anything there. Under the boot floor carpet's lovely and clean. It's got a TSW in there, wheel. So not a P-slot, but the floor and everything's all good. The jack and everything's there. Always nice to see. Passenger side, again, nice clean door card. Passenger seat, all nice and tidy. No signs of any marks, rips, tears, anything like that. Carpet set on this side's nice too, as is the dash. Yeah, the seat doesn't want to go forward. It does lift on the handle, but it doesn't click forward for some reason, so that one's investigating. Just to show you the rear of those seats again, all nice and clean. It's normally an easy fix, something like that. I'll be a cable off or something. We'll go and have a look under the bonnet. Getting all nice and clean in here. That panel's all been protected and everything, so you've got no sign of any corrosion. You've got some wax oil in here, which is always a good sign, but no sign of any corrosion or anything like that. Engine's lovely and quiet, nice and sweet, which we'll show you in a second, but no sign of any corrosion or anything at all to worry about in there. Doesn't drop any fluids that we've noticed or anything like that when you've got it sitting here for a few days. Battery doesn't drain down, which is always a good bonus. We'll get it started up. So you have it, 1990 Volkswagen Golf 3-door Mark II. Any questions, please get in touch.